Hello, my wonderful spirit guides. Today, I am back with CHARLI XCX, baby! I am so excited. Of course, I am doing How I'm Feeling Now, and of course, it was a 2020 album. It was a lockdown album, and of course she's got her new album coming out on the 18th of March, I think it is. So I was like, oh my god, I have to do this album. I've got so much like requests on Patreon, and this was one that I basically chose for myself. I chose, you know, this wasn't a Patreon request. I was like, I need to do this. So I finally found a bit of time where I'm going to do it. I always feel guilty to choose my own selections, even though a lot of my patrons like CHARLI XCX and some of my selections anyway. But you know, when I've got outstanding requests, I'm always like, oh, I feel a bit bad. But this is important because literally I have to do it now. Otherwise, I won't ever get it done, will I? But anyway, I am so looking forward to it. It is a 37-minute album. And yeah, all I know is that it's a perfect lockdown album. It is literally a lockdown album. Like, that's all I can say about it. And obviously, like, I wonder if it will bring me back to the old, you know, those times, or if it's just very like personal to her and what she was going through and so on. I don't know. Well, yeah, also I've done like quite a I don't know, like a classic look with like a kind of twist, kind of like a, because the eyes look kind of like cute, you know what I mean, like little cutie, rather than a more classic mature look. I've got a little cute classic look. Right, anyway, stop being weird and get into it and get even weirder. Okay, just get my headphones. Also, I always like to preface this just because in case. I am on pain medication for my back, so I'll definitely be feeling a bit more loosey-goosey, but that means I could be feeling a bit loosey-goosey in the mind as well. So I only ever mention it just because, like, I don't know, if I seem different, I don't think I seem different, but if I seem different, that might be why. Yeah, I think it's always just good to preface and be authentic with you all, and so on. But anyway, other than that, I do feel totally fine, but you just never know. Anyway, yes, okay. Oh no, I forgot. If you want to become a patron, please do. Next live stream is on Patreon. You have to be a patron to do the live streams. It's going to be sexy themed, so any sexy song you could think of will be on the next live stream. It's on the 9th of March, 7 PM UK time. Okay, and then you can come in on the first tier and watch this video uncut, and you can watch many other videos uncut, all the videos basically uncut, and yeah, all of that. Follow me on Instagram, I shall follow you back, and obviously like, subscribe, comment, share if you want, share little clips. I love it when I see that you've tagged me in like a story of a little clip from my video. I absolutely love it. Also comment what you think of the video, because that always really helps me. Like, I mean, I love hearing like, oh, we love so-and-so, the artist, we love that artist, this artist is great. I love hearing that, but it's so helpful when I hear what you think of the actual video I've done. It helps motivate me, helps inspire me, helps me keep going and so on, especially because I've been a bit like, with all like the copyright stuff at the moment. So yeah, it just gives me a little bit of a boost. Give me compliments instead of give me compliments. Yeah, basically that is what I'm saying, which sounds hilarious, but like really it's just like, you know, if you're at work and your boss says good job and makes you go, oh, I'm doing good, and you want to carry on, basically you're all my boss. So anyway, let's get into it. I'm so excited. Right. Whew. First song is called Pink Diamond. I'm gonna get the lyrics up. Yeah, they've changed what the website, like Genius website is like, and it is so like not as good as it used to be. It feels all like, it like messes up a lot, and I don't like the way they've done it now. But anyway, I'm on Genius with the lyrics up just in case I want to get in there, you know? Right, anyway, let's go. Pink Diamond. Oh. Wow, we're starting hard.
I just wanna go real hard, I just wanna go real hard.
Ooh.
Pink diamond in the dark, I just wanna go real hard, I just wanna go real hard. I just wanna go real hard. Lip gloss on and I'm looking like a star. Got a tiny bag but I've got a big heart.
wait. I'm gonna go back a bit, but wow, so cool. The texture of some of that percussion then that just came in had a very drum and bass feeling, giving it some more chaos. And it's so like rhythmic already, not like legato or smooth or anything. It's hard and rhythmic. I love it. I just want to go real hard, lip gloss on and looking like a star. Got a tiny bag, but I got a big heart. On a video chat, cute skirt and a bra. Oh, that's cool. On a video chat. Yeah, like, obviously that makes a lot of sense. Oh, it's a very, like, kind of, you know, I am that bitch sort of thing. I love it. I wish you could come round, pick me up in your car. Yeah, I love it. Okay, it's like, I feel like, so far, it's like being like getting dolled up, getting like, you know, dressed to the nines, ready to party, to go on a video call with your boyfriend or your friend or your girlfriend or whatever, you know. Yeah, I love it. Okay, right, let me go back and just vibe with it.
Yeah, I just wanna go real hard. I just wanna go real hard. Pink diamond in the dark. I just wanna go real hard.
This is really hard.
I just wanna go real hard for days. I just wanna feel it in different ways. Every single night kinda feels the same. I'm a pink diamond in real life. Could the club even handle us in real life? Could the club even handle us? I just wanna go real hard. I just wanna go real hard. Pink.
This is literally a total clusterfuck. And I mean that in a good way. This is a clusterfuck. It's so clustered and it's so fucky. I love it so much. The production is insane. Usually with CHARLI XCX, we'll get some, you know, kind of super hyper pop sound and then we'll get some kind of crazy outro. This is going in hard from the very start. I don't know if all the songs are going to be like this, but this one's certainly like this. And I love it. Oh my god, there's so much sounds to talk on. There was a bit where the beat went kind of into a hip hop feeling, you know, and now it's so crunchy. Okay.
Very real hard. I just wanna go real. Go real hard. I just wanna go real hard.
I love it.
I just wanna go real hard.
Still hitting you with the outro though. Oh, you motherfucker. Charles. You know that we call her Charles now when we're angry. But I'm angry in a good way. Charles, you really have to be sent to your room after this one. I'm not joking, that was very naughty.
It's naughty!
And I love it. That was so good. The way it was like ripping, like, oh, I don't know, just distorted. It just felt like extracting and then just like purely percussive outro. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I really was not expecting that. No, I was not. Bloody hell. CHARLI has actually written something about the song, so I think I'll go ahead and read it.
Dua Lipa asked me to do an Apple Music interview for the At Home With series with her, Zane Lowe and Jennifer Lopez.
I've seen Zane Lowe before. He supported Muse when Muse came to the hometown gig at my hometown because it's their hometown. And Zane Lowe supported. Anyway, and he's also a really good interviewer I've found over recent years. Anyway.
Which is, of course, truly a quarantine situation. When am I going to ever be on FaceTime with J-Lo? Anyway, on the call, J-Lo was telling this story about meeting Barbra Streisand and Barbara talking to her about diamonds. At that time, J-Lo had just been given that iconic pink diamond by Ben Affleck. I instantly thought, Pink Diamond is a very cute name for a song, and I wrote it down on my phone. I immediately texted Dua after and said, oh my god, she mentioned the Pink Diamond. A few days later, LA-based R&B artist and producer Dijon sent me this really hard, aggressive and quite demonic demo called Makeup On, and I felt the two titles had some kind of connection. I always like pairing really silly, sugary imagery with things that sound quite evil. It then became a song about video chatting. This idea that you're wanting to go out and party and be sexy,
like I said,
but you're stuck at home on a video chat. I wanted it as the first track because I'm into the idea that some people will love it and some people will hate it. I think it's nice to be antagonistic on track 1 of the album and really frustrate certain people but make others really obsessive about what might come next.
Well, she's a very smart lady because she's definitely done that. It's almost like going, shoo off if you don't like this, bye, bye. And then the people that do love it, they're just like thirsty for more, like I am right now, like, give That's literally what I feel like. That was so good. I'm getting boiling. Oh, jeez. Love it. I love the little backstory to it as well. Okay, next song is called Forever. I'm so intrigued if this is going to sound totally different now. Okay, the first lyric is love suicide. I don't know if I can say that word, but you know, let's go for it.
Suicide, you and I. All my feelings for you. No one be here with you. Yeah, now we gotta let this go.
Ooh, I like that.
How you get some time to grow, yeah. Now that goes here in my head. I'll always love you. I'll love you forever. Even when we're not together forever.
It just dropped then. I'm sorry.
I love you forever.
I never know when to pause.
In the future, we won't see each other.
Okay, right. I was literally finding it so hard to find a moment to pause because so much is going on and I love it. This one definitely started with that kind of really aggressive sound, and then kind of amongst that the vocal came through. The melodies are so damn poppy, and like her voice gives it that sweetness, that little pop sweetness, and then like, but all the sounds in the background are they're atmospheric in a way, in a sense that like she's talking about drove the car off the road, and it actually sounds like a bit of a car crash happening. Like, I don't know if that's just me, but I literally could feel like I can hear that. Okay, let me just carry on. I haven't got lots to say right now. I'm just enjoying it, and actually, it's just one of those things where like, it's like I don't think I realise how much I love CHARLI until I listen to her again. And like when I do put her on, I'm like I love her. Like, she's incredible. Honestly, right, let's go. Oh yeah.
You take your time, I'll take mine. We'll be fine. Hope we'll be there too. All the memories, all the photos we took, yeah. Now we gotta let this go, yeah. Now that goes here in my head. I'll always love you. I love you forever.
I love it when it pulls back and just goes, now that goes here in my head. You know, that little telephone vocal without any music. It, after hearing so much of those like sounds, it's such a little, you know, I talk about tension and release like all the bloody time. Well, that is like all this tension and then the tiniest ever release in those little lines. But it makes it so cool.
We won't see each other. Cold as on December, but I will always love you. Even when we're not together, I will always love you. I love you forever. I love you forever. Yeah, I love you forever.
Oh, that's so good. Wow. If you weren't reading the lyrics, that's quite indistinguishable. Wow. That's crazy. Like, I feel like I didn't really react that much to that song because, like, it's confusing, right? Where it has all the elements of something that's, like, interesting and crazy and big. I actually just felt quite, like, at ease with it, and I ended up vibing with it, you know, rather than being like, whoa, yeah, whoa, I was more just like, oh, that's actually just really nice. And like that vocal, like kind of emotional feeling just kind of brought me down that level. And I really appreciated it and loved it because it wasn't done in an abrupt way where Pink Diamond was so hyped. It didn't do just like an immediate, like slow, soft song that I would have been a bit annoyed if it did that. What it did was like this little, like, it's a smoother, more emotional song, but still with crazy sounds in it. You know, it's easing you into that emotional state rather than throwing you in there. And I kind of like that. I really like that song. It's so nice just to listen to all the little details. I was also thinking, like, I just reacted to Spelling yesterday, right? The Turning Wheel. And I was just thinking, wow, like these are two completely different sounds, like complete opposite genres in a way, you know. Well, they are. And I was just thinking about how like happy I am that I am someone that can really love all types of music, because that allows me to have like hundreds of thousands of different experiences, if you know what I mean. And I'm sure a lot of you are like this too, but like if you only listen to one or two sets, you know, types of music, you kind of limit yourself on an emotional and creative level. Whereas listening to all different types of genres and falling in love with them for different reasons, you get to just ignite yourself with something so, I don't know, magical. But yeah, I was just listening going, love the Spelling album, right? Like so much. And I thought, wow, it's interesting that I could love that so much and then love this so much. And I was trying to work out in my head, like, how does that work? Because, you know, this has got lots of crazy like instruments that are synthesized and like made up and, you know, a little bit aggressive and odd. Whereas the Spelling album had like beautiful instruments, beautiful clarity to the instruments, nothing that throws you off. It's just all whimsical, right? Yeah, I can love them both like entirely as much as each other, if you know what I mean. And I just fucking love that about music and our minds, because yeah, things just capture emotion in different ways. But the thing that still stands is that it's emotional. But anyway, what beautiful song. I'm going to look into what it might be about. Sorry, I always go on a little tangent, don't I? Like a passionate tangent. So CHARLI says,
I'm really, really lucky that I get to create and be in a space where I can do what I love. And times like the coronavirus crisis really show you how fortunate you are. They also band people together and encourage us to help those less fortunate. I was incredibly conscious of this throughout the album process, so it was important for me to give back.
Oh, I love her. She's amazing.
Whether that be through charity initiatives, with all the merch, or supporting other creatives who are less able to continue with their normal process, or simply trying to make this album as inclusive as possible so that everybody at home, if they wish, could contribute or feel part of it. So, for example, for this song, having thousands of people send in personal clips so we could make the video is something that makes me feel incredibly emotional. Yes, of course. This is actually one of the very few songs where the idea was conceived pre-quarantine. It came from perhaps my third ever session with North Carolina producer and songwriter BJ Burton. The song is obviously about my relationship, but it's about the moments before lockdown. It asks, what if we don't make it? But reinforces that I will always love him, even if we don't make it.
Oh, I hope she's got little like snips like this throughout all her songs, throughout all the songs of Genius, because they're really interesting to read. I feel very she's got a big heart, and I've said this before, haven't I? Especially on the last album, you know, with her songs like Silver Cross. You know, she's just someone who actually does have a huge loving heart. She's a real, like, she has a lot of empathy and love to give, and I just love that about her, and I love artists that like have that. But yeah. Okay, next song is called Claws.
Like your mind, like your smile, like your eyes, I could die. Aeroplane, you are so fly. Singing songs like Jeremiah, kiss me right, yeah, that's so nice. I like everything about you. Oh, don't you hold me back, 'cause I know when I know I don't wanna be alone. Go, I'm not shy, make you sigh, slip and slide, and my thighs juicy, just like clementine. Sorry if I make you cry, but I like.
Oh my god, it's again so hard to pause again. Oh my god, this one's so cute as well, and it's like it's so sweet. It's so sweet, juicy like clementines. You know, I like the Gemini switching sides. Love that. I've got a Gemini moon. That's not so fun because it's all Gemini within my brain. My introverted side is basically a Gemini, so I'm just literally like gossiping about myself and shit. But no, that's cool.
Go.
Oh. song.
So hard.
Oh, oh, it ends like that. It's kind of scary, but I like it. I always say that, I'm like, scary, but I like it. But I do like scary things. But what, blah, 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 blah. Short but sweet, definitely. Oh God, I keep getting dumbfounded by this song. Like, I'm literally just like, oh, wow, okay. It's like overwhelming. Oh. Okay, I'm reading what Charlie has said about it. You've probably already heard all this, but you know, it's cool for me to read it. I'm interested. And you might not have, all of you might not have heard. But anyway, let's go.
My romantic life has had a full rebirth. As soon as I heard the track, which is by St. Louis, artist, songwriter and producer Dylan Brady, I knew it needed to be this joyous, carefree, honeymoon period song when you're just so fascinated and adoring of someone. Everything feels like this huge rush of emotion, almost like you're in a movie. I think it's been nice for my boyfriend to see that I can write positive and happy songs about us, because the majority of the songs in the past have been sad, heartbreaking ones. It's also really made him understand my level of work, addiction and the stress I could put myself under.
Oh, that's interesting. I remember hearing actually a lot of you tell me about this, you know, how the lockdown really strengthened their relationship again, which is so wonderful. And that's the thing with relationships, what I've always found, well, not always found, but in my relationship I'm in now, you know, been together about 4.5 years, it does ebb and flow, you know, you're not always like, I want to make love to you and kiss you and suck on your eyes. Whatever. You're not always just like grabbing each other and all over each other, you know what I mean? Please don't go sucking anyone's eyes. That's not a thing. I mean, unless they want you to, but I don't suggest it. I mean, the eye might come out and yeah. So yeah, don't do that. But yeah, and then you'll have moments where you are like that. And it's all like, everyone has their own stresses, everyone has their own things going on. You know, one of you's going through hell and going through a tricky time in your family, or the other person's going through a tricky time with illness or whatever. You know, things can go like this a little bit, but it's in those moments where you're both doing okay, or something, one of the bad things match up or the good things match up and you come back together. And in this situation, there was a change. Lockdown happened. So there was a forced change, and that forced change actually brought them together, which I think's awesome. And like, you never know, things could go apart again and come back, go apart, come back. And that's why, like, you know, if you're with someone who isn't, you know, abusive or horrible or nasty, but you might argue sometimes and get in a bad, you know, situation, like, really just don't break up, just work on it, like, talk to each other, just always know that, like, it could change, something could get better if you work together and if you stay willing to stick that out with each other. Relationships aren't meant to be easy, they're hard work. It's just, you know, it's a case of, are you willing to put in the work? Do you like them enough to put in that work? But yeah, so yeah, I get chatty about this, don't I? Yeah, that's so lovely to have a song like this and like to feel that honeymoon period again within the relationship that she's been in for so many years anyway. It can happen, trust me. Right, and trust Charlie, not just me. Okay, next song, 7 years. I guess that's the length of their relationship at that point.
So hard, things that we've been through. Yeah, could have fallen, but we only grow. Bright air, and it feels brand new. We used to live inside a lie with you, and now we're honest and it feels so good.
Okay, this song kind of feels like it's talking about what I was just saying, right? A little bit. And I used to live inside a lie with you and now we're honest and it feels so good. That could mean like a million things. Like, live inside a lie could be, you know, I used to, you know, feel like our relationship was a lie, that we didn't love each other anymore. But now that we are doing what we should be doing in our relationship, being in love and all over each other, you know, it feels honest. Or it could literally be that they used to keep things secret that were upsetting them about each other, but now they've learned to talk to each other and open up a bit. and it feels good, and absolutely, totally, 100% agree. So I love it.
So long been scared to show off my feelings.
Yes!
Hello. I know that look inside my eyes means always. Even if we fall apart, split the ways. You're the holy matrimony on why.
Yes.
From distant to inseparable ties. But you're exactly really my type. We took some sleeping pills on that flight. 7 years have really flown by.
Oh, I like those
I know
lines.
that look inside my eyes means always.
This is so interesting, and like, not to get too personal, but really, like, the first like 2 years of getting back with my partner. Basically, I've mentioned this before, so I'm not going to go. I'm definitely not doing the whole thing. I mentioned it in the Sophie video, and if you like Sophie, you probably like Charlie. So, yeah, obviously, I've known my boyfriend for 10 years, and we have a child together who is 10. So, well, I've known him for 11 years. So, yeah, we got back together, and in the first 2 years of when we were back together, I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I wasn't fully in it because I'd been so hurt and whatever. But anyway, as I got better, and things just changed in a relationship, I began to just, like, you know, open up to him more, feel more honest, feel more fulfilled with him. And it really got to a point where I'm like, yeah, I just know now, like, without the holy matrimony, I'm wife. You know, we've really got to that stage where it's like, okay, like, there's an actual acceptance of, like, well, it is just me and you forever now. Like, it just is. Like, it feels too odd to think of it differently, and like, whatever, say if we broke up, it doesn't matter, I'm still happy I felt that way now. Basically, I'm relating completely to what Charlie is saying. I've actually gone through this kind of shift in my own relationship myself, so it's like that feeling of, I don't know, to, oh my god, so in love, do you know what I mean? I love that. I don't know if she's still with him now. I hope she is.
Used to be afraid to say it, but so strange. 7 years and it's been you and I always.
How cute. I bet he loved this, her boyfriend. It's so nice. There's so much I want to say about it, but like, it would just be boring. But like, I do just really feel like I understand it so much, and like, just the whole, it means always, the look inside my eyes means always, even if we fall apart, split 2 ways. Like, I love that as well. And like the fact that they've been together for 7 years, right, at this point, through so many different changes of fame and hard working, you know, and so on. Like, that really shows something, and I just do think you can meet someone that really, even if things are difficult, the underlying feeling is unconditional love, you know what I mean? And like, even if they did split, there'll always be love, because that person's not a bad person, that person's a good person, you know, and you know you'll always love each other. I just really like listening to this, because it makes me think of my relationship, and that's not a bad thing at all. Okay. Next song is called Detonate.
Close myself off in noise. Building walls in my sleep. I can't turn back. That hurt me. No, you won't hurt me. I'm about to detonate. Pull you close and then I'll be dirty. I can talk dirty. I can make you feel.
You can, like, I don't know who, like, all the artists that Charlie's has written for. However, she is a absolutely perfect, like, songwriter, like, especially for pop music. Just her little, she's really learned how to write songs, if you know what I mean. Like, hurt me, no, you won't hurt me. You know, all her lines like that repeat themselves in that way, unbelievably catchy and but also like good. She's a brilliant, like, mainstream songwriter, but actually has a lot of emotion in her words. and all her songs are personal to her.
I don't trust myself at all. Why should you trust me? I don't. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just feeling confused. Know you hope that I'll prove everything will stay cool. Hurt me, no you won't hurt me. Dirty, acting so dirty. Hold your close and then I'll be gone.
So what I'm getting from this is a little bit of self-destruction, a little bit of when things can feel great, like you feel like you're gonna kind of explode and ruin it all, sort of thing. And if you're someone who might be used to a lot of pain and destruction, yeah, that's a very common feeling. It's not odd at all to feel that way. It's just not nice to feel that way, but it's great that she's singing about it. I don't know if it is about that, but it feels like it is.
Trust me, I don't
It's fear,
trust myself.
and she's saying it as it is, trust.
Should you love me?
Again, if the lyrics weren't here for me to see, I might not be able to actually distinguish what she's saying. And in a way, it's like she's writing in code to her boyfriend for only him to understand in a way. Obviously, we're being shown, but it's like a little secret. More personal. Oh, it's like about to detonate. Ooh. I didn't realise that until quite late on, but I was like, oh, what's going on here? And I was just listening, and I was like, oh no, this is about to explode. This is about to detonate. But in a weird way, it felt like it detonated far away, or like it wasn't as big as she thought it would be, or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna read what CHARLI said about this one.
So, this was originally a track by producer and head of record label PC Music, A.G. Kirk. A couple of weeks before quarantine happened in the US, A.G. and B.J. Burton met for the first and only time and worked on this song. It was originally sped up and they slowed it down. 3 or 4 days after that session, A.G. drove to Montana to be with his girlfriend and her family. So it's quite interesting that the three of us have been in constant contact over the 5 weeks we made this album, and they've only met once. I wrote the lyrics on a day where I was experiencing a little bit of confusion and frustration about my situation. I maybe wanted some space. It's actually quite hard for me to listen to this song because I feel like the rest of the album is so joyous and positive and loving that it encapsulated how I was feeling, and it's not uncommon in relationships sometimes.
I said that. I said as well about it's not uncommon to feel like you want to self-destruct when things are going well as well. You know, a bit different to what she was saying, but it's funny that we both kind of use the word uncommon. But yeah, so really, you know, she just wanted some space, feeling a little bit trapped a little bit. And maybe that was before they, you know, really started to rekindle in a way. And of course, when you're around anyone for too long, you know, you're going to get a little bit annoyed with them, aren't you? Like, so yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, next song is called Enemy.
They say keep your friends close, but you're closer. I love when you're here.
Yeah.
You might help me intimacy. I'll admit I'm scared. Maybe you can reach me. Yeah. Maybe you're my enemy. Now I'm feeling that you come a little close to me. Maybe you're my enemy. Baby, you're my enemy. Yeah.
Ooh. Really like that. That again, I really relate again. But you know, when she just says you might help me intimacy, I'll admit I'm scared. You know, for my personal thing, again, relating it to myself, like a lot of the reason that I didn't feel fully there with my boyfriend for the first 2 years is because I was terrified of intimacy. You know, being an SA, a child victim of SA and R, for like literally so many years of my life, from age 6 to 23, when the last event stopped, I went through a really bad time of not wanting to be touched, or I was terrified, basically. And as soon as I had someone who actually respected me and cared about me, that is actually when the terror started. So I would just be doing things like numb-minded, just whatever, didn't even think. I was just an object. And then someone showed that they actually loved and cared about me properly, and I freaked the fuck out. All my trauma just went like, just came flooding in, basically, and it was the most terrifying time. So I wasn't intimate for an extremely long time. And obviously, because of my boyfriend's patience, care, love, and respect, he never ever pushed it. He actually just did what I wanted. And whenever I felt ready to do something, and whatever it was that I wanted to do, he would, do only that. He would always flirt with me and, stuff like that. That was nice, but he never ever was like, just grabbed my hand and tried to put it on him, or just did anything too untoward, unless I was said about it or did something to him, if you know what I mean. And some people might think, oh, he just didn't fancy me, but no, he just really fucking loves me and cared about me, and still does. But and now it's like totally different. We're like, because he was like that, I've opened up so much now, and I'm a completely different person. Like, I actually can't believe it. So that's how I relate to that. But I'll read about it afterwards, what is said, that she has said about it. Because, maybe it is like she's been hurt before, maybe not in such like gruesome ways that I have. But, there can be all types of hurt that can make you not want to be intimate. So, yeah, what are these songs? I'm really fucking connecting. Yes! This feels like it's written for me!
I'm scared of nothing. Underneath, I'm nervous. Can you reach me?
I think a tough journey to be on whilst you're around a lot of people. And I don't fully really understand it yet. It hurts here. It hurts. Yeah.
At the end here, on the lyrics, it says, I seem to think that I'm a really bad person. I thought that was interesting. But I was just thinking, God, CHARLI's songs, she always gets me so emotional. And I think it's because, whereas a lot of songs can be relatable in their own ways, I feel like there's been so many times where CHARLI's songs have been actually far too relatable. Like, on the last album and this one, I'm like, that's just beyond relatable. And, the way I'm interpreting it. I'm going to read what CHARLI has said about it.
A song based around the phrase, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I kept thinking about how if you can have someone so close to you, does that mean that one day they could become your biggest enemy? They'd have the most ammunition. I don't actually think my boyfriend is someone who would turn on me if anything went wrong, but I was playing off the idea a little bit. As the song is quite fantasy-based, I thought that the voice memo was something that grounded the song. I had just got off the phone to my therapist.
I knew she was talking to her therapist. Oh, I wish I'd said it before, but I knew she was. Because when she said it hurts here, I could imagine her pointing at a part of her body, like it hurts here or it hurts here, wherever you feel pain when you're sad, right? Or whatever you're feeling. Not everyone does, but I certainly get bodily pains for different emotions. But anyway, I knew she was talking to her therapist.
And therapy It's still a very new thing for me. I only started a couple of weeks before quarantine, which feels like it has something to do with fate, perhaps. I've been recording myself after each session, and it just felt right to include it as some kind of real moment where you have a moment of self-doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. And I find that really interesting because, like, for me, when she was saying, maybe you're my enemy, I was seeing it like in a very similar way, but in a way that isn't fantasy, it's very true. I would have terrified thoughts that my boyfriend would like he was playing the long game, and secretly he hated me, and he was going to secretly get in loads of his friends to come in and do something horrible to me, you know, the things I've experienced. I would think all these horrible thoughts, and my trauma would make like his face contort into like people of my past and turn him into something quite evil. And I suppose that's splitting in a way, which is something that happens in BPD, where you can look at someone as entirely good and then entirely bad. But with the trauma mix with it, it would do it of its own accord without, you know, it'd be triggered to feel like that. So I'd be like, maybe you're my enemy, maybe you're, you know, you're not who you say you are, maybe I can't trust you. And maybe the closer that we get, that's like something you want to do to hurt me. Like you want to get close to me so you can really hurt me. Like I just didn't have trust. Obviously I don't feel that way now. I've gone through a lot of therapy myself, and you know, with the years and time and the fact that he's never done anything horrible like that has just been showing me, imagine if he's still in the long game. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not getting paranoid. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I really felt this on like a really personal level and in my own way, and that isn't far off from the actual idea of the song. But wow, that was powerful. I actually had a moment there where I thought the tears were going to come out, but I was like, no, don't do this to me right now. Not again. I kept thinking there's going to be a song that'll be fun again at some point, so I'm just going to focus on that. Right, anyway. The next song is called I Finally Understand. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
The walls are all gone, quickly melting down. Liquid in my hands, secret in my mouth. Footage on my phone, they finally understand that maybe this feeling that I found might kill me. My therapist said I hate myself really bad. You tell me it's fine, let me cry and hug it out. The baby, I love you bad.
I adore the sound of this song. I really adore it all. Like the fast like beat, the nice warm sounds in there, the like brighter sounds in there. It's a really good song. It's like, you know, it's really well done. There's a lot to it that I'm actually adoring. And again, the lyrics, oh, perfect. That kind of drum and bass sound again. I just love that warm sing.
I finally understand, I finally understand. Feel it in
It's
my
so easy to sing along to.
You love me even when I hate myself, I'm sure. Baby, I love you bad, I love you bad. 'Cause lately, you finally understand that maybe
Oh, I love this.
feeling that I found might kill me.
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. Wow, that was a short one again, but like, well, actually it was free. No, oh yeah, it was 2.5 minutes, but I loved it. I loved it so much again. I really liked the warmness in that one. It had something a little bit different to the rest of the songs, I felt. I really liked it. And again, lyrics, wonderful. So I'm just going to say what Charlie said about this one.
The song is basically about how me and my boyfriend are quarantined together during this time. I'm conscious that I've spoken about this a lot and I don't want people to be like, shut up about your boyfriend. But I'm writing about what I know, and we're quarantined together, and our relationship wasn't in a brilliant place prior to quarantine. I'm not going to say at the end of the road, but close to it. We were living on separate sides of the country, and even though we were physically far apart, we were emotionally quite distant as well. I'm extremely lucky that quarantine has brought us physically close together, because now we're living in the same house, but also emotionally. And I finally understand that this person is someone who I can trust with my life, and I will have my security protection at the front point. of their heart no matter what. So that's what it's about. Very emo.
I love that she said that at the end. But it's true. It is wonderful. Isn't this lovely? I hope for every single bloody one of you to have this, by the way, this type of relationship where like you feel protected, safe, loved, cared about, and so on. And I actually wish for you to go through hardships as well. I do. I hope you go through many hardships, but come out the other end, because it will just solidify you even more, trust me. Right, anyway, next song is called C2.0. Oh!
And next level so legit with all my click.
Oh my god, again! It's so random that she just does this with her songs. Like she's like, yeah, let's do it again, but different. This is so bitty. Ooh. Also, when I read C2.0, I was like, 2.0. That's why I made a face at the start, because I was like, is this going to be another song remake? And it actually is. I should have said it, but I never did. Ooh, I like that. Ooh. That sounds so much like a synth bass that I used on one of my songs. Let's see if I can find it and go back to this. What am I on? 144. On one of my old songs, by the way. Nothing great. Certainly nothing great. Now the synth sounds completely different, but it has a similar dun. I find it so funny that I made this song right before I even knew what hyperpop or anything like that was, but this is the most sweetest pop song ever.
Only a matter of time before it falls apart. You know there's no such thing as trust when you choose to use force. So let go lightly.
Yeah, that's a song I wrote a very long time ago. But yeah, it gave me a little bit of the feeling of this.
Blue summer sitting high in the window.
It's not at all the same, but it has the same like dun, dun, dun. I don't know. Feels like she's missing her friends, right? That's nice. Ooh. Cute. That one's very sweet. It definitely feels like a homage to her friends who she's missing during that time, for sure. And it's kind of cool that she brought that song back in that way. I can't remember what the actual song's called on the album. Isn't it called Click? I think it is. So cool. It's like she's like, oh, well, this makes so much sense for now. And I feel like some of the lyrics are quite different as well, like fitting the situation and so on. Anyway, next song is called Party for You.
I only do this party for you. Only do this party for you, for you, for you. I'm about to party on you. Watch me party on you, yeah. 1,000 pink balloons, DJ, your favorite tunes. Birthday cake in August, but you were born 19th of June. Wish I knew what you were thinking.
I like that.
1,000 pink balloons, dance along to your favorite tunes. Hope you're gonna party, cause I do the party just for you, like, oh.
This one's very like dreamy. It's almost like she's talking about a memory, and it feels very summery in a sense of like this party she's talking about. You can see all like the night, like bright colours and so on, the pinks and the purples, like she actually mentioned in here. and it feels so glowy, but like it feels like it's on like a stream over there. You know what I mean? It's got a very like far away feeling to it, but it's super cute. Woo! That's so interesting. I wonder who it's about, because like obviously it's about someone she cares about but didn't even turn up to the party, and she's saying she's only thrown that party for them and she's made it all perfect, but they haven't even showed up. And the distant vocal does somewhat give it a sad feeling, and maybe because it didn't show up, they're not together, that's why it's distant, because there's distance between them for real. But it also, that distant vocal makes it sound quite sad. I don't know why, it just gives it an emotional like feeling to it.
Only do this body for you,
I did have a theory, but I've forgotten it.
I was hoping you would come through. Only do this body for you, for you. I'm about to party on you. Watch me party on you, yeah. Party on you, party on you, party on you.
Little Imogen Heath moment.
Party on you, party on you, party on, party on you, party on you, party on, party on you, party on, party on.
Oh. Is this going to rise up into like something quite hectic, or will it be false? It's funny because like I feel like we've all literally had this feeling, like if you've ever been to a party or gone out somewhere and like you're texting someone or you have a crush on someone and you've invited them or they're meant to be there, but they don't show up, and you've literally gotten yourself so ready to see them and you've been excited all week, and then they don't show up, but you're like the whole time, like any sound of the door or any sound like of anything, you're like, could that be them? Maybe it's them. Maybe they are going to turn up. Maybe it is that like hopeful feeling, and just how sad it is when they don't show up. I can literally feel that so heavily through this. Well, she's stating it. It's like a sad party. She loves her sad bops. Interesting ending. Like, what's that to do with, you know? Oh my god, this just makes me so curious for like her next album's gonna actually sound like. Like, is it gonna be, because obviously I've heard the song Good Ones. I'm like, is it, and that one had like such a, you know, cool feeling to it. You always let the good ones go, you know? And like, these all feel quite sad in a way, apart from like the first, no, not all sad, like some of them are joyous of course, but like they're emotive, and like so is her last album. I do kind of want to know what this Party on You is about. So Charlie says,
This is the oldest song on the album. For myself and AG, this song has so much life and story. We had played it live in Tokyo, and somehow I got out and became this fan favourite. Every time we get together to make an album or a mixtape, it's always considered, but it had never felt right before now. As small and silly as it sounds, it's the time to give something back. Lyrically,
oh yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's like she's giving that song back because in a time, you know, with the whole like quarantine and so on, and she was talking about that earlier, wasn't she?
Lyrically, it also makes some sense now, as it's about throwing a party for someone who doesn't come. The yearning to see someone but they're not there, yeah. The song has literally grown. We recorded the first part in maybe 2017. There are crowd samples now in the song from the end of my Brixton Academy show in 2019, and now there are recordings of me at home during this period. It's gone on a journey. It kept on being requested and requested, which made me hesitant to put it out, because I like the mythology around certain songs. It's fun. It gives these songs more life, maybe even more than if I'd actually released them officially. It continues to build this non-existent hype, which is quite funny and also definitely part of my narrative as an artist. I've suffered a lot of leaks and hacks, so I like playing with that narrative a little bit.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Nice, I like that. Okay, now we'll move on to anthems.
I'm so bored. Wake up late, eat some cereal. Try my best to be physical. Lose myself in the TV show. Staring out to oblivion. All my friends are invisible.
Yeah.
24/7 missing more. I might cry like a waterfall. I'm irresistible. I'm gassed up like I'm physical. I write.
Wow. Okay, wait. Oh, I love the beat. I love the rhythm. Sorry, I love the pacing of this song. Loving the sound, love it, I do. But yeah, very on the nose again, very just like exact, not metaphoric at all. I love it, and I like how it ties in with some of the other songs as well. Sometimes I feel okay, sometimes I feel so frightened. She's talked about that before. It's so sweet. I love it, but it's something that we've all felt, isn't it? But anyway, let's get into it.
Go on my shopping, I'm so uninspired. I just wanna breathe, silence in the trees. I just wanna go to parties, on the high, wanna feel the heat from all the bodies.
Sounds so fucking good. Ooh, that's cool. Ooh, nice. Ooh, that's cool. Love that. That's cool. It was weird because it's like that one had a similar amount of energy to the first song, right? The first song maybe had a little bit more. I can't remember now because like a lot of the mid songs have that more like bringing you down to that like emotive level. And then that one kind of threw you back up again. And I do believe Party for You could have like, in a way, it kind of, with the name Party for You and it being about parties, could somehow glide you into that like harder sound again, but not enough. Not like how the first song and to the second song kind of glided you into the more emotive songs, you know? So I was like kind of like already in like a kind of, you know, relaxed place. And then that came on and I was like, oh fuck, like I love the sound, but like I haven't got the hype in me again. But then towards the end I did. Towards the end I was like, oh my God, that's actually so good. I would like to hear that separately. Like I'd like to hear that straight after the first song, if you know what I mean, to really feel it. But because I loved it like a lot. That's cool and very relatable for every single one of us, of course. You know, I remember writing a poem during quarantine that was very much similar, like, oh, you know, just can't wait to do things. I'm so sick of this sort of thing. She says she felt uninspired. Like she says at one point the line is like, I'm uninspired. I'm like, well, you've written a whole album, so you definitely had some inspiration, and I'm happy you did. Obviously, I'm not saying she didn't feel uninspired, but I'm glad she had enough to make this album because it's very good. All right, it's the last song now, and it's called Visions. Also, the lighting has gone like up and down and down. No, it went down, up, down, because the sun is usually over that side. It's come over the house and then started to set on this side, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's go. Visions. Ooh!
Visions in the past. To realize right from the start. Voices tell me hold on. Something keeps on pulling me close, so close. But I got pictures in my mind. I can see it so clearly, see it all so right. I see you and I got pictures in my mind. I see you.
Wow, that's so cool. I like the way it drops like that.
Can't change what I feel, but maybe I'm just fantasizing. Something keeps on pulling me close, so close, grabbing to you so hard. I got pictures in my mind. I can see it so clearly, see it all so right. I
an ending. Oh my god. I love it. Wow, it's quite ominous. Wow. That was quite an ominous ending. It felt like it had like this really heavy, like fun part, but it actually sounded a little bit dark as well, a little bit scary. In a way, like I felt like that was a really good ending because like obviously like I said, it started kind of crazy and now it's ending kind of crazy. Obviously it makes you want to keep going, and the ominous ending makes you curious, like why is it so ominous? What does that mean? Is there something else to it? I understand that, but I feel like it felt like a good ending. But it looks like CHARLI has said here,
I feel like anything that sounds like it should close an album probably shouldn't. So initially, we were talking about Party for You being the final track, but it felt too traditional with the crowd noises at the end, like an emotional goodbye. So it's way more fun to me to stand that in the middle of the album and have the rave moment at the end. But in some ways, it feels a little traditional too, because this is the message I want to leave you with. The song feels like this big lucid dream. It's about seeing visions of my boyfriend and I together, and it being right and final. But then it spirals off into this very weird world that feels euphoric, but also intense and unknown. And I think that's quite a nice note to end this particular album on. The whole situation we found ourselves in is unknown. I personally don't know what I'm going to do next, but I know this final statement feels right for who I am and the direction I'm going in.
Like you said, it feels so unknown, like this rekindling of their like love can feel kind of like, wow, this is kind of weird. Like what if it all like falls to pieces, or what if it blows off to the moon? So it's kind of ended in that way where it's like kind of an adventure. Yeah, it's like an adventure. Wonderful. Okay. Obviously there's lots of collabs with like producers and so on, but no like vocal collabs, obviously, because it was all quarantine and so on. It was definitely the most personal album there's been in that way. And it is very much about her boyfriend and yeah, quarantine. Exactly that. I loved it though. And it's so weird because like some of the sounds on it are like my favourite sounds that I've heard from her. However, I can't really say it's a favourite album because it is so like niche, I suppose, because it's a timepiece, you know, it's like fitted to a certain time, but it's still so listenable for whenever you want to listen to it at the same time, because like the music is so fun, it's so catchy, it's got so many hooks. I loved it so much, and I really wasn't expecting it to sound quite like that. Some of the middle songs I did expect, but like some of the sounds on there I really didn't expect, and like I love that feeling. And now I'm just more excited for our next album because I believe it'll be more expansive because we're not in quarantine now. We're not like, you know, this everything is still going on, but it's not quite like it was when the whole world was on lockdown. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it makes me excited, more excited, and oh god, I loved it. I think my fave songs probably would be Pink Diamond at first because it was just so much fun. 7 Years was like wonderful. Enemy was like, wow, that one just really spoke to me on a crazy level. Anthem was so much fun as well though. There's so many that I liked. What was the other one? There was another one that had like that. I Finally Understand, I think it was. I love that as well. Okay, there's quite a lot that I love. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and please do like and subscribe, comment and all those things, and I shall see you next time. Bye!